Now at noon, Gregg Popovich speaking for the first time to reporters since having a stroke. Popovich took to the podium to thank everyone for their support since his health scare back in November. The legendary coach announced he was stepping down on Friday, and today he passed the baton to the new coach of the Spurs, Mitch Johnson. Sports anchor Nate Ryan is there at Victory Capital Performance Center right now as we speak. Want to go over to him with more on what Coach Pop had to say. Hey, Nate.
Yeah, Sarah, the reason we all gathered here this morning was to celebrate the arrival of Mitch Johnson as the next head coach of the San Antonio Spurs, but an emotional, powerful moment that right up there rivals the 5 championships, right? The formation of this franchise, bridging the gap between generations. What we saw here this morning at the Victory Capital Performance Center brought likely tears to Spurs fans' eyes, some of sadness, some of happiness, an incredibly cathartic moment entering the press conference. Gregg Popovich, for the first time publicly seen since he suffered that mild stroke at the Frost Bank Center back on November 2nd, entering the press conference flanked by Spurs legends of today and the past. You see Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Sean Elliott, and then current players Victor Wembanyama, Stefan Castle, all walking out from the corner of the Victory Capital Performance Center to take their seats and welcoming in the next era of Spurs basketball. Obviously, you see Popovich walking very slowly, gingerly, and he's being helped by Ginobili, by Tim Duncan to sit down and take his seat to watch Mitch Johnson usher in that new era of Spurs basketball. But you talk about what Popovich said at the podium. Remember, this is the first time we've heard from him since November 2nd. We haven't seen him out really in the public for the last couple months. When he passed the torch to his new successor in Johnson, the emotions from everybody coming pouring down.
I can never express the gratitude that I have for so many people caring about our organization and sending me thoughts, prayers, that sort of thing since I had this stroke. Things are getting better by the day, but it's not good enough for what we plan ahead, and so it's time to make this change.
But the one thing Popovich did not lose, guys, was his sense of humor. You saw that track jacket, that Spurs track jacket he was wearing. At the end of his remarks, he unzipped the track jacket, and it read El Jefe across the front. I mean, it means the new boss, right? The new Spurs president of basketball operations, as he's going to step into that administrative role. Now Johnson's going to be the new head coach on the sideline. But how cool is that, right? You've got Gregg Popovich, the patriarch of the 5 championships, and now as he passes the torch, flanked by Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili, the same 2 guys that helped carry him up on the court for those years, right? And now those roles kind of reversed. Very incredibly emotional, powerful, cathartic. For Spurs fans, this is something that they're going to remember for all time, right? I mean, regardless of how the Mitch Johnson era goes, we'll hear from him coming up this afternoon. He's incredibly humbled, incredibly thankful. I mean, it's got to be a tough job, right, to replace the winningest coach in the history of the NBA, but this is the right move for this organization at this time because Popovich made it. He's keeping it in the family, and Gregg Popovich has full confidence that Mitch Johnson is the right guy to take his mantle. But just the who's who out. We had DeJounte Murray out here too. DeJounte Murray, who spent years with the Spurs, very close with Mitch Johnson. Both are Seattle natives. This is a guy who plays for another NBA team. He plays for the New Orleans Pelicans, and he's coming back to San Antonio, another NBA franchise, for a press conference. I don't think you just see this with any other organization in the NBA. The Spurs are a family, and it was on full display here today, guys.
A lot of legends all in one place, and Nate Ryan right alongside them. Nate, thank you so much for that report.